This project first began on the heels of having a timely warning notification email about a sexual assault that happened on campus. Critical rhetoric as an orientation can inform difficult conversations by placing a lens on where are the power stakes, who are in positions of power, who is speaking, who is silenced.
I had the opportunity, I guess, to jump on to this project a little bit later after the story started. And it was really fun to blend in some of our past conversations about this topic.
And so we talk about this phrase of embodied pedagogy as a praxis that has resulted from an orientation of critical rhetoric. What I mean by embodied pedagogy is when we are in our classrooms, particularly, looking at the room, the bodies in that room of my students as we were in a circle, seeing their nonverbals, seeing the ways that their pupils widened at certain terms, and just really observing. So that's part of it, is having that orientation, observing their bodies, noticing how I felt. The vulnerability that I felt was a memory of my own sexual assault that I had not talked about. I didn't want to talk about it with my students, but that was the first time I used in a classroom setting me saying that I'm a survivor, of wanting to embody the vulnerability, embody the camaraderie, the connection, the allyship, and I hadn't planned on talking about it that day. And by it, I mean rape culture, sexual assault, rape, and knowing the feelings that would come up.
It was so early in the semester. There's that cohesion that you would normally hope for in a classroom often isn't there, or at least isn't there to the point where you want to be like, hi, let's get like vulnerable, risky.
We're getting at issues of power. We're getting at issues of language. We're getting at issues of performativity. And kind of brushing the surface of the role of bodies as teachers, as educators.
A teacher, depending on your approach, you can go back to that old banking model. I just, stand in a lecture hall and spew data at you, and you sit there with a bucket and try to catch as much of it as you can. That's not very helpful. It's relational, it's critical, it's engaged, and it has to be vulnerable because there is so much risk that the students are taking in that moment. In your classroom, even in admitting that there is a struggle to learn at times, that I think that hopefully as educators and teachers, we are taking that risk as well.